Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we'll be talking about my Battlefield 2042 beta initial thoughts. So after playing 5 rounds of Conquest on Orbital in the closed beta, here are my initial thoughts. Once the beta ends, I will be making another video on my final thoughts and my opinion on the game. Tomorrow, a video will come out showing the differences against PS4 and PC being played on Ultra, which will be interesting to see. I'll make a lot more videos on comparing the versions, map sizes, and all that to come. I just want to focus on the big points while the beta is not open to everyone. So when the game launched its beta at 1700 Australian Eastern Standard Time for me, which is 5 PM, they didn't take into account daylight savings, so it was actually 6 PM. We couldn't even play the game. Seems to always happen in Battlefield betas, so you think they take that into consideration and there'd be more hindsight. A lot of people would be ready to play now. I finally got in 21 minutes later and the servers still weren't working with the server error message. And then finally it took 25 minutes to get into the game. So what was planned for 5 PM started at 6:25, and that's Battlefield's media making a mistake because they didn't take into account daylight savings. Other than that, let's move on to the positives. The new vehicle drop feature, it's crazy good and convenient. My only complaint is later in the game, it kind of becomes useless. We'll talk about that later though. I'll tell you this though, when switching from clearing out a building to needing to get 1 kilometer to the next objective, then just open up the vehicle drop menu and it gives you a selection of tank, an armored motor vehicle, and a just non-armored car, and then you can even get the robot dog. We'll talk about the robot dog in a second. It's B for PC and it's really convenient. It makes it so much better. You can just choose where to drop it and then drops down just like a kill streak in Call of Duty, like a care package. The gameplay is so smooth and it's great to see how beautiful the game is. It is stunning. It does have a different art design to previous Battlefields, but it's beautiful in its own way. The time to death is in a really good place and I'm glad about this. I don't feel myself dying too quickly. I also don't feel myself surviving easily, and when I'm shooting at people, it takes like 5 bullets to the chest and that kills them. I reckon it's perfect right now. It should be left like that. Shouldn't be changed. Not like Battlefield 5 where they kept changing it. It is really good right now, and I kind of see that they've taken feedback from Battlefield 5. Orbital is a cool map. That's pretty much it, because it's just so pretty, and I can find myself just staring up into the sky. I haven't actually got to feature Levolution yet, so I'm curious. Has anyone else got to see the Levolution of the rocket? Because I have not. Interactive features. Did I miss the good old lift and zipline? It makes it so much faster. Being able to shoot on the move is sick also while on the zipline, and I applaud them for that. Because you're not just like, someone's not just camp right next to the zipline, just shoot that and actually fire back. 128 players. Where were you in my life? I felt like it's a Battlefield essential now. The first game to have it. Boy, do I love it. This is for next gen only, sadly, but it takes the game to a whole other level, making it actually a Battlefield, not a graveyard. I always found players and many of the engagements I was taking on had like 4 to 6 people in close combat. It was great to have those experiences. When I play the PlayStation 4 version, it's just not gonna feel right, and I'm sorry if you own the PlayStation 4, but it is a considerable downgrade, unfortunately. It's addictive. Like I was saying before, everything just feels so smooth, and I found myself just immersing in the experience and trying to kill as many of these hordes of players. The weapon attachment switching is amazing. Being able to switch my weapon attachments was a godsend, especially for a game that has such massive maps. Right before I enter a building, I chuck on my red dot sight. I'm going outside into the open, I pull out my ACOG. Same with other attachments like foregrip and muzzles. Vehicles. I really love the vehicle play and feel in this game, although I'm not particularly the biggest vehicle player, really fun to use. Being the more armored vehicles and stuff like that, I'm not the biggest fan of them because I like infantry. I really enjoyed flying the VTOL also and acting like a hub for my team to rain down hell. You could switch between a hover mode and a flying mode on it, which I thought would be cool. The helicopters had flight assistant mode, so if you're trying to provide covering fire, you do so and not worried about doing backflips. You'll know if you play PC more that could really go like crazy around on the helicopter. So just being able to switch to an assisted flying mode while you're going is handy. The robot dog is amazing, maybe too good. Might need a bit of a nerf. When I had it in my team, I felt unstoppable, able to use it as like an extra shield of defense and firing power. It follows you when you're even in vehicles and going up buildings. Here are some negatives. Sometimes the map is too open and it's hard to find cars late game when the vehicle. Very frustrating in second half of a match to find vehicles because you weren't able to use the drop feature. They would just be left out in the middle of open by people, and those vehicles need to be destroyed, respawn for the feature to work. So you couldn't even really use the feature, but the convenience disappears close to the end of it. For PC, it's a harder barrier of entry. Recommended specs are actually very high, especially during a GPU shortage where people can't necessarily upgrade for the MSRP price to deal with scalpers. So here are the recommended specs. Intel Core i7, AMD Ryzen 7 2700X or better, so that's the CPU. The RAM 16GB, the OS is 64-bit Windows 10. Video card is either a 3060 or an AMD Radeon 1600 XT 8GB. Pixel shader needs to be 5.1, vertex shader 5.1. Need to have 100 GB. That's a lot. Jeez. Dedicated video RAM be 8192 MB. It's also just disappointing. There's only one map for the beta and only one game mode. We have 8 maps and portal maps. Maybe you could have given us one portal and we could have worked like that. No, we just got one map. I don't feel like that's enough. At least give us breakthrough on that too. No, we only got one map, one mode, and I just want more. I don't have many negatives, but my final thoughts video come out at the end of the beta. I will get out all the negatives and how they need to improve before the launch. These are my initial thoughts. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you're excited for the open beta or have been playing it right now and having fun. More videos coming daily for the next week. Peace.